Hello, welcome to yet another episode of Random Rants. Bobby is not in this video with me today. He is right now with our logopedy. My daughter is still going to a logopedy. It's like a language teacher here in the Netherlands. But I also wanted to do one of these episodes alone by myself because the topic today is self-love. Yeah, so I want to do this alone. So are you with me? If you do not understand me clearly, feel free to put on the subtitles button, and then you can maybe understand me better. Okay. Where do I want to start? Let's say, for instance, something bad happens in your life. Something bad. Okay. Now, I think you can react in many different ways. You can fight, you can freeze, you can flight, you can do a lot of reactions based on just one single incident. So the same exact incident triggers different people differently based on what their instincts are, so to say. But the trigger is okay, but the trigger should kind of release it from the body and the mind. But if the trigger does not happen, then that release is not possible, right? So then you start collecting all this I would even call it negativity, or that negative aura, or that sadness, that perpetual I wouldn't call it black, but moody, dark, gloomy energy within yourself, which believe me or not, means that you're also being a magnet for the same kind of experience. Law of attraction, episode 9 was it, remember? Okay, so that being the case, when you start attracting these black things, otherwise black, then it starts repeating, the cycle starts repeating, and you start telling yourself, oh, bad things happen to me, or bad things happen in my life, or things like that. But on the other hand, you as a person, you as your authentic self must be shining in 100 different areas, but your subconscious you, or your brain you, is actually criticizing you for that one simple silly thing. Come on, that's too much. That's really too much. So what I'm trying to say is that when we start holding on to that pain in a wrong or unhealthy fashion, it starts affecting you mentally, physically, emotionally. It really starts affecting you on a completely different level. So the point is about then what happens? Then the thing is, when you're actually going down, you can decide few things to bring yourself up. You might decide to stop and just give yourself a lot of self-love. That's when you actually start looking at the positive things around you, and also trying to understand you from who you are instead of criticizing. And also accepting you as who you are, in the sense that there was a time, I know the exact reason, it was a pain again. It was a breakup, and that pain causes you to either undereat or eat, but it also started affecting my body, for instance, in a very weight gain fashion, or a tiredness faction, or like it can come in different ways, right? But you need to release it, and the only way to release this the self-love would be like telling yourself that this is not your fault, or this happens, and let's look at what to do, or those kind of things are actually really needed. But these are exactly the kind of things which are not taught in schools, unfortunately not taught by parents or guardians, unfortunately not like readily available as an easy to understand book for everybody. It is not there. This basic thing is not there, and this is called self-regulation. So for me, for instance, accidentally I have discovered some self-regulations. So for example, when I'm feeling really really sad, I go to a dark corner in a room, or I go under the table, or put all the lights off and in a room or a corner somehow, and then do baby pose. That really comforted me. That is actually a nice how do you say, release of that sadness that you have felt. Crying is actually good. So I would really really say, if your children or your partners, if they're crying, let them cry. That's a beautiful release of the pain that you're holding. And I'm using that word because once you start holding this pain for a long time, it starts weighing your body down. Like you start carrying all this load that is not even yours to carry in the first place. Like 10 years in our relationship, I thought I was really really a horrible person, but later I realized, oh my god, it's the opposite. And that changed my perception, but that also is a big pain, right? And then the question is, you cannot be carrying that pain. It is not your pain to hold on forever. And sometimes it's the little pains, but if you are holding your hand like this for 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 8 hours, 10 hours, 24 hours, then it starts getting very very difficult. So the point here is also about how to break that cycle of self-criticism and move towards self-love. Sometimes instead of self-criticism, people can also have addictions. These are very common because you are lacking that love towards yourself. Oh, this is another beautiful example for comforting yourself. Like you touch your body, you pat your body, and this just comfort. You can also do this to your partner. That's why sometimes getting a nice massage is also very 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 therapeutic in itself. Okay, again, problems might or might not come depending on the vibration you're giving again, or your surroundings or the other people associated with you are giving, yeah. Because it's too many factors, oh my god. So basically what I wanted to touch upon is, like, there might be these incidences and you can really choose flight, fight, whatever, or addiction way, or self-critical way, or self-love way. You can really choose how you want to react, how you want to respond. I would like to say, not react, respond, because it's more, this is the situation, what should I do, what should I choose. Actually with Iya in our orange book sessions yesterday, that was actually one of the points that we were doing, like with the problem and how to jump across it. I've even made a drawing out of it. But that's your choice. That is your choice. And as animals, we will have these bodily feelings of shaking, or butterflies in the stomach, or it can be good feelings as well, right? And notice them, like feel them. Don't hide them, don't abandon them, but really just feel them. Go through that emotion, like feel that emotion. Don't put it like this, don't put it like this. This is what Bobby was doing, because he thought it's all actually going, but nothing goes like this. Just take the extra second to say, oh, where does this belong? It's paper waste. Okay, put it in the paper waste. That's how you process it. But when you keep doing this, there'll be a big pile of junk behind at some point of time. And that's what sometimes happen in relationships. And so this is also a shout out to the couple out there, because you need to first figure out yourself, and you need to be willing to love yourself. And only when you can give yourself 100% love can the other partner also love you 100%. So then you will get your own 100%, and his or her or their or whatever 100%. And I think that is very 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 important, because first you need to fill your own cup, and only pour after your cup is full. So for me, that was the mistake or my learning actually, because I used to fill everybody else's cup even when my cup was empty. So I would be literally borrowing my energy from my previous day. I'm actually a very introvert person, so I like being by myself. But that's not what I did. So yeah. Then I wanted to say, so these things can happen and the choices can also keep repeating, but it's then very very important to continue. If you cannot do it this time, say okay, next time I'm going to start over again, next time I'm going to start over. If you want to break a habit, especially any habit, you will have to start a million times sometimes just to stop. So you have to start the stopping process, and that's okay, because every time you're trying, you're getting one step closer. And that's the same about self-love. Maybe today you might forget to love yourself, but tomorrow you have to intentionally say, no, today I'm going to give some time for my self-love. If I do not feel like doing something, I do not do that. If I feel like doing something extra, I do that. The only thing that you also need to start thinking about is like, what's good for your body, what's good for your soul, what's good for your mind, what's good, like, attract or do things in a positive manner. Like, don't be, how do you say, 100% selfish. That's not the intention. The intention is to keep things at a good level, don't harm anybody. So the reason why I want to talk so much about self-love is because I have actually been fighting it and only finding my way into it. So for me, all this is very very new. Oh my god, people can actually love themselves. Oh, that was new. Oh, they don't have to criticize themselves 24/7. That was so new. I want everybody to experience that feeling if you haven't, because it is beautiful. And I know in the beginning it'll be difficult to get there, but do one small thing, one small improvement, one small change, one small thingy, one small hour free. Like, do that. Live your life. Love yourself first, and then everything else will follow. Because when you love yourself, you will be in this state of bliss, right? Which is actually a very high vibration. Because you're in that I'm so much in love with myself kind of ananda feeling. And then you also realize, oh my god, I'm also God. Sorry, or universe. And then it's much beyond you. It's about everybody, it's about everything, it's about the entire universe, it's about the singularity, it's about God. And then that is also a very beautiful place to be in. So yeah, it's very very important to love yourself, because sometimes the criticism that you're giving yourself might not be actually right. In my own experience, recently I found out that I'm in the ASD, autistic syndrome, no, autistic spectrum disorder. Yes, thank you, because I saw the color. I'm visual. And I was like, oh my god, like 99% of the problems that I've had in my life are probably because I was autistic and everybody expected me to behave like a neurotypical, which is not how it's gonna be, because I'm not. And for me, there has been a lot of pressure to be a neurotypical, but it actually did not suit me. So I have had to always put extra effort to be normal. So if at all bad things came on top of that, it was all the more difficult, right? But I think the thing that kept me going, and that's the other part of the thing, is resilience, the will. My facet 5 will is 9.5. That makes sense. I think that's one of the things that actually help me survive in life. Otherwise, if you hear my story, my God. That being the case, I want to really think about not giving up on the self-love journey, not giving up on yourself, not giving up on your dreams, not giving up for anything or anybody in your life, because your life belongs to you. It really does. So always find a will, always find a motivation, because sometimes, like for example, I have ADHD. That's another thing I'm dealing with. So even though my will is very high, my ADHD makes me feel, in normal sense, lazy. But I just can't. I have a dysfunction. And that being the case, I will use my problem-solving mind, and what I do is, like, I play Shakira, and that is my cue to clean. So I can only clean if somebody plays Shakira. That's the thing. So that is the connection, or that's a trigger, or that's the ting ting, like the response to stimuli. The dog experiment, the bell. Please put in the comments if you know the professor's name, like more about the experiment I'm talking about. You know that, right? Yeah. So oh my God. I just realized that might have not been taken the right way. Anyway, that's not what I meant. I meant the saliva experiment. Okay. So sometimes, like during my exams, I was very lazy in school, college. I couldn't study. So I had to really put I work in urgency, so I used that. So what I will do is, like, I will not study till last day, and last day I'll be like, oh, today I have to study, and then I will create my own reasons, or I will fail. Seriously. And then I would just start working, and if I'm feeling sleepy or tired or something, there was a song I used to play. It's actually from Lagan, chale, dun, dun. Oh my God, that's so motivating. I can't. I think you know that song, right? Yeah. So I used to play that song, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna study, I can do this, just one more day or one more exam, or yeah. So it was really nice experience. That song helped. That, or maybe in my previous role, I think in ASML, there was a desktop wallpaper with a lot of creative fun stuff. So when I was coming back from a blah meeting, I will see this and okay, now I can work. Oh yeah, these days I put work music, some nice relaxing music. Like yesterday I had put 888 Vishnu something frequency, I don't know, check it out. So it's been very, how do you say, transformational in that sense. But find out what works for you. Maybe for you, doing it together with somebody else is what helps, or maybe for you, standing in front of the mirror naked and talking to yourself is what works. Maybe for you, going to the nail salon is what works for you, or posting about your diet on Instagram might be what works for you. It doesn't matter, because whatever works for you. Just make sure that that is not for others but for yourself. It needs to guide the transformation that you're looking for, and you can change. You can really always change, and with a lot of self-love and self-confidence will increase. That when you are in love, like, you start emitting this happy radiant energy. If I'm with the right crowd, I am always like smiling. If I'm with the wrong crowd, sometimes I get a very wrong energy, and it really pulls me down. Like I get affected actually. So especially these days, I'm very sensitive. With the moon, I'm very sensitive. So these days it's very interesting to keep track of these things, because in normal day life these things happen, but you thought it was a random pattern, but it's not a random pattern. That's why we really check these things, and it's very interesting. So we're still doing it from a experimental point of view, because but we are believers, because now we've been tracking for almost a year. So that's another shout out to astrology. I think we have an episode on that if you're interested. Then yeah, so that's it. So for me, a lot is now getting clear because of my ASD diagnosis, ADHD diagnosis. I also think I might be gifted. The test I need to do once more. So that also explains to me why I am like this, but that also explains to me why I cannot be like this. In our house, in the entrance, there is a Marilyn Monroe picture. I don't exactly remember the lyrics, the lines, but it's something like be you, because everybody else is taken. So I think that's a really cool way of inspiring you to be your most authentic self. Like, I was somebody who didn't post in Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp statuses, because I just did not care. Remember, I told you I'm an introvert. But then I also realized, hey, is it also because I'm insecure about myself or my looks or my whatever? I was like, yeah, maybe that is also true. So that's also the reason why these days when I'm thinking, who's the authentic me, who's the authentic me, who's the authentic me, and how can I be more her, how can I be more higher self, my because my authentic self will be my essence, like Sneha. Who is Sneha? The essence of who I am. That's what I want to live as. I don't want to be in a golden cage today. I don't want to name names, but we were talking about golden cages that the world has set, and I absolutely agree. Yeah, we need to look out for the gold, but it doesn't have to be a cage. Oh my god, I was just looking at a seagull, I think, flying, and you wouldn't believe me, I did this with my hand and I could literally feel the change in air pressure, call it if you will. It was a beautiful experience, and I'm enjoying this right now. I'm enjoying the plants, I'm enjoying the nature, I'm enjoying the bees, but I'm also enjoying the fact that we are doing this almost in the now. So every time Bobby and I come up or even Iya comes up in random rants, none of us has any clue what we're going to talk about, but it always becomes a beautiful experience, because we try to one, stay in the now, because this is what is happening now. To be honest, when you're watching it, the now is a bit different, but this is actually my now, right now. And I think the most beautiful thing is being able to share like this. Right now, I don't care how my hair is or my face is. I haven't done threading in ages, or it really doesn't matter, because this is me. And if you talk in soul language, you can even say my atma or my soul is actually somewhere else. Like, it's not this body of mine. Even my mind is something else. So atma, mind, body, then that becomes me. So that's also about how do you say, it's not really about I don't care, it's more about I have accepted who I am, and that's also a beautiful feeling. In the beginning, like, I was also very I wasn't out there spiritually, because people thought, how do you say, intelligence and spirituality did not match. Or, oh, you're so intelligent, how can you be spiritual? Like, how are you so stupid? You're an IIT, and why is talking about such nonsense? But that's why I always say, if you haven't experienced an I was going to say Faluda. Okay, Faluda, or orgasm was the word that actually came to my mind. Okay, I'm going to put it out there, authentic me. if you haven't actually experienced an orgasm, a prasava vedana, like birth pangs, oh my god. Nobody can explain it to you and you are never going to understand. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Yeah. And maybe you're looking for God or universe in a very spiritual, very logical way, but it's not about spirituality. It's not, sorry, it's more about those rational, logical things. It's more about feelings, emotions, vibrations, energy. You should be operating from that level, not that level. Yeah, you should be operating at that soul and inner consciousness level. And once you fill yourself with a lot of love and you stay love and above, just continue. Maybe you will go down. Maybe there'll be moments where you are ashamed of something you did, or jealous of somebody, or yeah, or angry, or whatever those negative feelings are. Just bring back, come back, come back, come back, come back, and say love and above. How do I stay love and above? And believe me, you can do it. You can be yourself. And stay resilient. That is important. Keep your will strong. If you cannot get a buddy or a friend or a spouse or a daughter, sometimes he helps me. But keep on with it. And at every point of time, every point of life, ask yourself, this is what the authentic me wants. Yeah. But to figure out the authentic me, you need to start with self-love. So love your cup first, and always stay love and above. And if in doubt, play chale, love and above.